Hey, so today is about what is true vegan versus what I do, which I call lazy vegan, which is easier. If you want to know what true vegan is, you can Google it and you can find out. But basically, it's eating only fresh fruits, vegetables, legumes like beans and soybean, and nuts and seeds and grains, and preferably grains that are like oats and quinoa and rice. Use only organically grown things. Use nothing canned, just fresh or frozen, and limit the frozen because it loses some of its nutrients. Of course, zero sugar, zero animal products, so no meats, no cheeses, no milks. Avoid oils. Get your necessary fats from foods. Use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil if you need to, or sesame oil. Avoid coconut oil and palm oil. And only make your own breads and dressings and sauces, because that way you know what's in them because you put them in there. So what this diet does is it removes all the preservatives and additives and colorings and all those sneaky sugars and sugar substitutes and saturated fats, most importantly saturated fats. And there's no growth hormones, there's no antibiotics from the meats, there's no pesticides, because you're not eating those things because you're only eating organic, and you're not eating meats, especially red meats, because that's where you find all of the saturated fats. So what I found is, yeah, this is a great diet, and it's the diet that's going to help you lose the most weight. It's the diet that is most helpful in getting you into diabetic remission. And if you have an autoimmune flare-up, it's the way to go. And if you have a cancer that's just beginning again, this is the cleanest, healthiest diet, which is the healthiest stuff that you're putting into your body. So that's what's recommended, but it's not sustainable. So I do it what I call lazy vegan, so that it's easy, because I don't want to think about food all day long. I want to be able to do this easily. I am a label reader. I look for saturated fats and sugars and chemical sweeteners, and I avoid those things. I think that food and eating shouldn't be tough, and it shouldn't take up half of your day to plan. I don't make my own breads. I make my own nut breads because I like them, and you can't buy things like that at the supermarkets unless they're loaded with sugar and saturated fats. But I'll buy dark, dense, regular breads and whole grain breads, and I'll read the ingredients and I'll make sure I understand what's in there. I don't make my own dressings and sauces. I just read ingredients. I do use canned goods. Pasta sauces, I try to make sure that it's stuff that doesn't have sugar. I love salsa. I'll try to buy the ones that doesn't have sugar and doesn't have a lot of preservatives. You can look at the ingredient list, and the further down the ingredient list it is, the less of it that's there. I do buy chips because every now and then I have to have a salty snack, and a can of peanuts just isn't going to do it. So I buy corn chips or potato chips, and I check the fat, get as few ingredients as possible. I use vegetable oils, avocado oil, olive oil, but I will use coconut oil because it makes things taste creamy and it's good for some recipes. I do buy creamer for my coffee. It's plant-based. Probably not the best for me, but I like my coffee and I want it to have the creamer in it. So, you make concessions and you do things so that it's a lifestyle that you can live with. I do sometimes get the plant-based meats for burgers or for spaghetti and things like that, because every now and then you just have that taste for chili or spaghetti, and it doesn't work unless you have something that is like a meat in there. And those plant-based meats, like Impossible Meat, those are really good. There are different kinds of vegetarians. Some of them are like pescatarians, or some eat only shellfish. Some add eggs and egg products, and you can read about those. Personally, I like cod. I add whitefish in every now and then. I love shrimp and shellfish, so I'll eat that. I know that it's something that's, those two things are low in saturated fat. I don't avoid eggs because they're a source of complete proteins for us. So one thing that I've found that's great, I eat a higher volume of food than I've ever been able to eat in my life and not gain weight. When I was growing up, there was no such thing as portion control because we were poor and we didn't have a lot of portions to begin with, so you didn't have to worry about portion control. But eating this way means that I eat more food, less calories, but more food than ever before. If you have questions, please just comment and ask, and I'll try to answer them. So talk to you soon.